like I said, the first takeaway today is sort of establishing U of T in your mind, if it isn't already, as Canada's sort of top research university. This is something that is painful maybe for Canadians to do, to be braggadocious in one way or another. And indeed, it's no small feat that U of T is ranked as highly as it is, not only in the world, but in Canada, because indeed Canada is home to a number of excellent universities. In fact, some of you may have already attended some webinars of my colleagues from other Canadian universities. But U of T is really proud to sort of sit atop that pile of excellent schools. We really owe our reputation to a legacy of discovery and innovation that has always been a part of the University of Toronto's story. There is some value in looking at it, and consistently the University of Toronto ranks amongst the top 20 universities in the world. And when you consider just how many schools there are, how many excellent schools there are in places like Canada, the United States, the United Kingdom, India, it really does provide one really important point. And this isn't to say that we're better than others and as good as some. But what it really is meant to do is to help you appreciate how transferable that degree is, how well the University of Toronto degree travels. When you are ranked as highly as we are, what it really means is that the University of Toronto degree is sought after and lauded in every corner of the world. And this means that if a student is coming from India and hoping to move on to great, exciting things elsewhere in the world, to stay in Canada, or indeed to return home, that University of Toronto degree will travel well with them. Now, the second takeaway from today's presentation, my hope was to sort of help you come to appreciate how U of T is really a network of unique communities. And indeed, I often say that the network of communities that make up the identity of the University of Toronto are in many ways a reflection or mirror image of the city itself. Because we are the largest city in Canada, because we are the financial capital of Canada, and indeed one of the major finance capitals and capitals of arts and culture, etc., in North America, students find opportunities outside of the classroom that are readily available, that are hard to find in other excellent universities throughout the continent. The other thing that I like to reinforce, and this will be a bit of a theme through our conversation today, especially when I speak to an international audience, is that the city of Toronto and what's known as the GTA, or the Greater Toronto Area, really stands as the most ethnically diverse city and metropolitan area in the world. 53% of the residents of the city of Toronto and the Greater Toronto Area were actually born outside of North America. And a great introduction to the layers of communities at the University of Toronto is our three campuses. One of the many monikers of the university is that the University of Toronto is one university with three campuses. Starting in the west, we have the University of Toronto, Mississauga. Then we are looking at in the heart of the city, the St. George campus, and then completing our trip to the east, we rest at the University of Toronto Scarborough campus. I'll take a few moments to just describe what makes these campuses different from one another. You might imagine one of the most popular questions I get, and perhaps if someone joins us late in the presentation, someone may ask this question, and this is from students and parents alike, is which is the best campus? Or which is the most prestigious campus? Or which campus provides the most recognized degree? And the answer to all of those questions is it is one university. It is the same degree. It is the same quality of education. It is the same admissions committee that is admitting students to all three campuses. The purpose of having three campuses is really by way of offering students as much variety as possible. The University of Toronto is really famous for offering an enormous number of programs. The vast majority of those rest, and this is really true of any university, but the vast majority, or the largest selection of program options, rest in what's known as the arts, businesses, and sciences. These are programs that touch on everything from human evolutionary biology to English literature, from commerce and business administration programs to second languages and social sciences and political science. And indeed, you'll find that the arts, business, and science programs are available across all three campuses at the University of Toronto. Questions about this later, but our co-op programs, so those programs which require a job placement, which of course is open to international students, but the programs that require job placements as a part of the graduating criteria, as a component part of the program, those are located exclusively at our Scarborough campus. Scarborough is very much defined as the campus that is best for students who learn best by doing. This is 700 undergraduate program options available to students at the University of Toronto. Ultimately, what this means is that not only is it a statistical probability that we offer the program you're interested in fact, we likely offer several, if not more, programs which all touch on what you're interested in. The important thing to remember at this point is that I don't expect you at home to know precisely which program you want to study of these 700, nor does any administrator or faculty member at the University of Toronto. A really defining feature of North American education, and this is what we share with our friends in the United States and elsewhere in Canada, is flexibility. The idea that a student may indicate a general area of interest upon entry to the university, but it isn't until after a year of experience. It's not until after that first year of study that a student, under the guidance of an academic advisor, is able to sort of say, look, this is the area of study I want to focus on. This is what I want to specialize, major, or minor in. The university is home to Canada's largest intramural sports program, home to 24 varsity sports. It's hard to believe when you look at me today, but I was a varsity track and field athlete at the University of Toronto. We provide students with a co-curricular record, so that is an official University of Toronto document which highlights and chronicles all of your out-of-class experiences. And at this point, it's almost an out-of-date statistic. It says hundreds of students' clubs. We actually have just over 1,000 student clubs, organizations, and societies.